Hello, peace and love. I know that it is pretty late. Yes, it is after midnight, and this is my time when I can come fairly free. As you all know, I do have a new baby on deck, and nighttime is the right time for your girl. So, I plan to do a one a time week live. Now, I personally love to do the videos because, I feel like face to face contact is more personal over the internet, but I see that this is a trend too with adding the picture. And look, I'm not looking my best right now. This live is going to answer the question how to make money with astrology. Now, this is not for those people who want to use astrology as a side hustle to make money. If you would like to know how to do that, I am definitely somebody who can teach you about that because that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. But what this is about is using your natal chart as a reference in order to tap into streams of income. So everything that I do is based off of astrology in action. And what I want to do is to help bring you to some simple steps in how to take action. What this is tonight is a mini session on what is a small part of a very intense course that I have created and am launching this week. And I hope that if you are interested that you would want to sign up for that course, and I will have the sign up link in the comments and in the post so that anyone who's interested can sign up in order to gain the announcement for that course. The course is completely focused on making money using your chart, and it goes more in depth than what I will give you tonight. But what I'm going to give you tonight is still extremely valuable, or whenever you're watching this, because some of you guys might be watching the replay in the day. So whenever this feed finds you, I hope that it will be valuable to you, because this is how I also inspired myself to leave my job and to start making a side hustle. So I have a crafted theory on astrology. And because astrology is a science, you're allowed to come up with theories and then prove them through experiments. My crafted theory is that the moon is a significant player in your stream of income. And my saying goes, the moon is currency. And if you think about it, the moon represents the waters, right? The moon is ruler over the waters. And the waters are related to flowing, right? Attraction and the concepts of actual currency, right? If there's an actual current when you're describing waters and how they flow. And when you think about the moon, it's a very feminine planet, obviously. Hi, Jamila. Good evening. And Durba's here. Hi, Durba. Um, the moon is a planet that is all about movement, flow, and femininity. And money has different aspects to it. But one thing that we can tap into when it comes to making money is what is your flow and your movement, right? So whether you want to have a side hustle, you want to change your job, or you want to just get more money at your job, how can you use your moon sign to give you flow, right? And to put you in the current. And this is my theory. So what I ask of you is that you go ahead and do something with the assignments that I'm going to give you, and you tell me if this works, right? I need proof of concept. So I have my own, but I would love to hear from you guys if this works. So the number one thing you need to know is, what is your moon sign? If you don't know what your moon sign is, that's okay. I want you to listen still. And what we're going to do, obviously, is give you more links. I have a link to Astrology 101 class that I have for free that you can tune in and learn how to read your natal chart. But you got to know your moon sign, okay? So I've explained everything about the moon, so let's get into it. We'll start right with Aries. If your moon is in Aries, you want to focus on currency of personality and self orientation. So Aries is all about I am, the needs of I am. So if you have a moon in Aries, one of the best ways to make money is to showcase your personality, to be free to show that. And what's awesome about the moon as a theory in flow to making money is that the moon sign is your emotional needs. So when you take action towards your moon sign, your emotional needs, you're gaining an emotional fulfillment on top of the money, because really it's what the money is going to get you, right? But if you're already there emotionally, then you're tapping into law of attraction, and then it comes with even more ease. So the spirituality and the action are working side by side. And if you're a moon in Aries, I highly recommend that you think about what is the vehicle or avenue that you can use to showcase your personality. So everything that I'm giving you guys, look, there's many ways you can make money out there, but this is going to give you focus on what to focus on. So let's say even if you start a YouTube channel or whatever it is, if you're moon in Aries, you want to focus on showcasing you, your life, your expressions, your point of view, and everything about you that, you know, you really want to show off. But sometimes, depending on what your sun and rising is, maybe it's not that easy. Use your moon in Aries to fill that emotional need, to put yourself first and to be out there and to kind of be youthful and young like a teenager and have fun with it. If your moon is in Taurus, well, this is all about possessions, and Taurus is about appraisals. Taurus, moon in Taurus is naturally in tuned and needs to make things of better quality or to be able to put value to things, right? What is the amount of, this item or this craft that I've made? So a moon in Taurus, you want to focus on how you can improve the quality of something or how you can actually make a statement of its quality. And quality is going to be the key for moon in Taurus. And it's a huge fulfillment for you because what you're looking for is something that is enriching and exciting, but also like ignites all of your senses and makes you feel like it is something worth purchasing that is, maybe very expensive or deeply fulfilling because of the time and effort that has put into it. So moon in Taurus, the key is about using and focusing on quality. Okay. And I hope that, hi, Iman. I hope that I can give every sign enough of my attention tonight. If you have any questions and you're tuning in live, please ask them, because for people who have the same moon sign as you, and if I don't answer the question or if I don't give it as much time, because I'm not really timing it, but I'm doing my best to be thorough. Anybody who's watching afterwards can also get from your question. So go ahead and let me know if you have any. But I'll keep moving on. So the moon in Gemini is the need, an emotional need to communicate. This is obviously through letters, texts, and most importantly, media. So moon in Gemini really can get pure fulfillment out of being on social media, on YouTube, anything that has to do with a series, like short series or a short story or anything like that. Because the moon in Gemini is all about the need to have a message to come across, right? Gemini is almost like the prophet. It's like the medium, newscasting, reviews, whatever it is that allows you to also be meticulous and dissect and just have your say on it. What is it that you think about it? Making a presence known through your word is key. And a lot of writing, I would recommend for Moon and Gemini to utilize writing as a way in which you make money. And yeah, basically you really want to test it out, and then obviously you're going to use other tools on how to make this money, but apply the writing. And if you apply the writing, my theory is that the currency will float and it will be an emotional fulfillment. So for my moon in cancers, you naturally want to feed. You want to nurture people and give them whatever it is that feeds them, maybe literally, or feeds their soul. So the key for moon in cancer is to operate in business or operate at your job, operate in your freelance or whatever it is that you're doing as a means of bringing in the food, right? So this could be literal. So maybe you want to add, hors d'oeuvres, or be the one that brings in the food at work, or brings in some snacks at work, and literally could feed the people and see how that works in your favor. But the other thing is that you can also really seek to feed people's needs. So what the moon in Cancer needs is to discover what the needs are of others, and really what are the pain points of others, meaning like what are the parts in people's lives that maybe they're not showing but you intuitively can pick up that they aren't being open about, and being able to feed them spiritually. Cancer is a very spiritual sign. Being able to gift to them something that could be helpful or useful. And if you can't figure it out, send them some pie. Moon in Cancer is all about feeding, and see if that works for you. So for my moon in Leo, it's going to sound similar to Aries, but for Leo, it is about being creative. Moon in Leo really wants to shine within the group and within the settings of wherever they are and environment that they are. And depending on if you already have a very flamboyant sun and rising, then it might be easy for you. But if you don't, it's really going to be important that you showcase your creativity. And moon in Leo, you might choose to do it behind the scenes. But what really would be the best thing for you is to call attention to yourself by showing up and being like face to face and showing yourself doing your creative work. Also, moon and Leo, I would highly recommend to work with children, because children are really the one of the strong governments of Leo, and children can inspire and showcase to you how easy it is to just be, and how much attention they can command based off of that. Children don't apologize for, their presence or whatever. Those are all conditioned things. So coming back to that space of youth, similar to Aries, but almost like real innocent, young children, where Aries I would say is more teenagers. But yeah, going back to that part of you that can play, that can be creative, and allow that to be your driving force in whatever method you use to make money, and focus on play, on creativity, on children, and find yourself making some good money for it too. And there's nothing wrong with wanting money. I should have said this at the beginning. And I've struggled with this too. Mainly my aspects in my chart, it all makes sense for me to struggle with it. But I've really come to a pivotal point, especially after becoming a mother, where it's nothing to be played around. The universe that we live in utilizes money as a means of gaining things and getting to what you want, and as a means of exchange on, period. So wanting money is, especially for the things that you want in life, is okay. Not just that you're deserving or it's owed to you, because sometimes that can be a bunch of fluff and over ego, but really that if you are here to do the things that you are meant to do, right, that your purpose is to do, then having the access to money for exchange to only broaden and grow your purpose, then it is helpful, because it is what we need. We need more of you and your individuality and your point of view and what your purpose is, to help bring up all of society, all of the world, and the evolution of humans. Like, that's how important it is that I have learned to understand why it's okay to want money, to figure out how to get it, because sometimes we might call it evil, but it's not. It's all about how you use it. And especially if you're using it for the good of walking in your destiny, then, I believe that the entire galaxy is behind you on that. So, moon in Virgo. For my moon and Virgos out there, Virgo is a critical sign. It's critical in the sense that, yes, the cliche that it is a critique, right? Virgos like to dissect and perfect things, but it also is a government of a house that is of a critical nature. It's the house of health. It's the house of like kind of like open but secret enemies. It runs on that cusp between the sixth and the seventh house, um, in the natural government, right, of the houses. So Virgo to me deals more with enemies than most people realize. There are other signs that deal with enemies too, but Virgos, it always shocks me. And then I remember like Virgos have to deal with, a lot of this like secrecy in their partnerships, and people who kind of want to like get them from a different point of view, and it's all based off of the striving for perfection, and it can be intimidating to people who are not going towards that or not striving for that. Anyway, for my moon and Virgos out there, the key is actually to confront your enemies. That is my answer, is one of my answers, is to confront your enemies in a way that is non-confrontational, right? So handling what it is that people are saying that you can't do, then maybe you might want to be a person that creates a video that's like, to the people who say that I can't do this, or maybe you want to create a song to the person, or, something like that. You want to utilize your enemies, or people who are not, maybe enemies is too strong, but people who are in your life that kind of give you a little bit of disharmony, right? You want to use that as a driving force to help you produce. And actually Virgo and Scorpio, I would recommend that. But Virgo, I would highly recommend that. The other thing, of course, is you have a natural need to want to choose health. And depending on your sun and rising, it might be a little bit difficult for you to do that. But if you focus on your health, or focus on health within whatever modality or method that you are making money, that will bring you a currency. Yes, Jamila, Scorpio too. It's definitely a recommendation that I naturally have for Scorpio, but I add it for Virgo too. Okay, so for my Libras out there, and if you're tuning in, this is Hi Diamonds. If you're tuning in, this is for moon signs. Okay, even if you look at the word money, right? Money, it has the prefix of MO, right? Which is also like Monday. The moon is related to the MO prefix. That's why Monday is governed by the moon. It's a moon day. And money too is, the word money has a prefix of moon in it. What's up? How are you doing, Diamond? Yes. So Iman says, I do use that energy to push myself. Health has been important lately. And Iman is a moon in Virgo. A lot of moon and Virgos, health is your certainty that you need, the practicality that you need to get through the day. Now, everybody could get up in the morning and work out. You know what I'm saying? But maybe for moon and Virgo and moon and Aries as well. Some of them, they're for different reasons. Like moon and Aries. Aries represents your muscular system. So working out or whatever, working out and focusing on getting all of that, stress out through physical activity is fantastic for moon and Aries. And then for moon and Virgo, it's focusing on health, whether it is working out or strength training or just eating really healthy. Especially for Virgo, I would say eating really healthy, because Virgo is ruler of the digestive system. And maybe even incorporating it in whatever it is that you're doing. Like if you're in an entrepreneurship business, how can you incorporate maybe teaching other people how to eat healthy, or your methods in which you have done so, or journey in doing so? Very important for Moon in Virgo and will help to put you in the flow of currency. Okay, so for Virgo, oh, I'm sorry, for Libra Moon, for my Libra Moons out there, Libra is a sign of partnerships, harmony, and balance. And with the Moon, the emotional need is to do things with somebody else. But I recommend that you do things with a partner that is close, right? So let's say you're starting your own business. You might want to go into business with somebody that you know already, that you've done work with before, a close relationship. You need that balancing act of somebody else, another point of view, to help you see yourself and see things from a different angle. And it will also give you emotional fulfillment to have a companion to go through the journey of whatever method that you use to make money. And also, whomever it is that you are with can give you a point of view that you can't always see from yourself. That's the key also with Libra, is that you need the balancing act of a different point of view. And the more that you're able to do that with somebody that you trust, the more that you can actually add value to whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're at your job or, you're working on your own business. So the key with Moon and Libra is to also ask questions. Ask questions to that close partnership. Be willing to hear what they have to say, be willing to make a decision based off of evaluation of your point of view and another person's point of view. Obviously, Moon and Libra might even just want to go into business with the person that they love or their romantic partner. It actually does make sense for Moon and Libra, but if you're not in a partnership, or if you don't want to do that, then maybe a close friend or a coworker, having somebody there that you can bounce things off of. Yay! Diamond, what is your moon sign? Diamond says she's feeling good, and she says that she needs this live right now. Recovering from surgery. I'm really sorry to hear that, but I hope that you're well now. And what's your moon sign? Yeah, so for my Moon and Libras out there, that is my advice to you. For Moon in Scorpio, the first thing is that, yes, it's very similar to Virgo, but Scorpio, you don't rule over enemies. Like, I guess you're, okay, hold on. Let me retrace those words. Scorpio, you are classically ruled by Mars, my Moon in Scorpios, right? So Mars is a energy of handling conflicts and enemies. So pardon me, I'm wrong about that. So a lot of the things that Scorpio, especially Moon and Scorpio, do have to deal with are, I don't personally feel like it is an outright enemy, but it's a perceived enemy. And one of the things that Moon and Scorpio will have to do is to be able to figure out who it is, right? So basically, you're investigative. And that is the key with the Moon and Scorpio, is utilizing your investigation to discover what is the main source of your conflict. And investigation is the key to focusing on making money. So if you're starting a business, maybe you are investigating the competition, right? So enemies aren't necessarily like, somebody who's out to hurt you, right? But it could be something like somebody is doing really well in this field and I want to check them out and see what they're capable of and see, what their lane is so that I can craft my own. That would be an Moon and Scorpio move that I would recommend. Yes, Scorpio doesn't trust easily, and I have my qualms with that, but I get it. I'm the one that's a little too impressionable. So me and Scorpios, I love them. I love Scorpios because they teach me about being more open to the true intentions of people, right? And that's why investigative is the key here, because you have the natural emotional need to go there. So you might as well utilize it when you're focusing on making money. So seeking out competition is one way, but also maybe just seeking out and investigating to a almost obsessive degree the business that you're in, maybe the boss that you're with or a coworker that's driving you crazy. Look, whatever it is that you have to do, you want to go ahead and choose to handle it in a way in which you understand your territory. And that's a key thing with, there's a book called The Art of War, and that's a key chapter in The Art of War is understanding the territory that you're in, right? And almost like creating your own territory and fort. And one of the best ways to do that is to investigate and know every spot, every corner that is covered. And that is a Moon and Scorpio thing. Now, the other thing is that if you're like really creative and you have a Moon in Scorpio, and there's a lot of creative people that I follow and they tend to have Moon in Scorpio. And the reason that I think that I like them is because they take their revenge out in their creativity, which is something that I recommend to Virgo. But for Scorpio, you might truly do that. One person, well, it's not her birthday anymore, but Beyonce has Moon in Scorpio, and you can see like in her concerts, she is telling you like who her gripe is with. But she's emoting it, right? So it's not really like an information. It's not like they're revealing to other people what is the problem, but it is emotional release that Scorpio, Moon and Scorpio are needing. And through, if you're very creative, then allow yourself to release through your creativity. I spent a lot of time on Scorpios. And I didn't spend a lot of time on Moon and Libra. So if you're Moon and Libra and you have a question, please go ahead and ask it. And even if it's after this broadcast, I will respond to make sure that Libra gets equal and fair amount of time. Okay, so moving on, Moon and Sagittarius. I will go ahead and say it like Sagittarius needs to get out of Dodge. And if you're Moon in Sagittarius, one of the best things that you can do is to get out of your community and your everyday like neighborhood and go out and explore the world and be able to maybe even create a business or include traveling as a key to your business, right? The other thing with Sagittarius is that Sagittarius has a lot of government over preachers and religion and higher education. So Moon in Sagittarius might want to do something that includes being able to show their exploration of culture, religion, and I just naturally think of like a traveler blog when I think of a Moon in Sagittarius, right? But it could also be like a religion professor, like somebody who utilizes their love for culture and travel and puts it into and creates a profession out of it. And I actually highly recommend for certain signs that they do grow their own business, and fire signs, I would highly recommend it. Sagittarius, if you're a Moon in Sagittarius or have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart, I would also really recommend it. Aries too, like Aries can work for like other people, but fire signs especially, I would always recommend to consider having that. I honestly would recommend to everybody, right? But there are certain elements that really need freedom, and so that's what I would say. Okay, so for Capricorn, if you're a Moon in Capricorn, this was the hardest that I had putting together in my theory and just in my, in the whole thing. I stumbled over Capricorn for a while. And what I think that, because naturally Capricorn is a very business oriented sign. So with the moon there, I feel that the moon here is also not always very happy, right? So it's hard for me to tap into Moon in Capricorn. But what I would, and I'm just being honest, but what I would say is to utilize scheduling and timing and be able to front load whatever it is that you plan on doing So let's say that you are an assistant, for somebody, then you want to have a lot of preparation. And, this could be for Moon and Virgo too, but for Capricorn, the reason that I say preparation is because you want to front load, like you want to have everything that you know that you want to get done in some sort of schedule and have the timing be as you desire it. So Capricorn, like if you're creating something, you want to know what your deadline is, and you really want to focus on meeting that deadline or being before it. So you want to front load, you want to be on schedule or on time with whatever you do and really honor that, because being on time will be the keys to your reputation. And if you have a reputation of being on time, there will be an emotional fulfillment about that that allows you to feel like you don't have to push as hard, because the moon in Capricorn is not as strong here. So pushing hard is not, it's not Mars in Capricorn. It's moon in Capricorn. It's the emotional need to get there. So what I would say for moon in Capricorn is maybe not wing it, like I would say for a moon in Gemini. You don't want to wing it. You want to know when it's going to happen and how you're going to do it and have it planned out. Okay, so for my moon in Aquarius, it's all about doing it with your friends and utilizing your friendships to gain access to whatever opportunities that you want. You have a natural ability to befriend the people and know who you need to go to for what reasons, right? So Moon in Aquarius, you might have a friend that has an access to a high paying job, or you might have a friend who is very skilled in this one, part of whatever they're skilled in. Maybe it's in resume building or, growing your own business or buying stocks, like if you have a friend that can help you with whatever it is that you're doing, then that will push you forward. And it's different than Moon and Libra because you're not necessarily working hand by hand with them. That's what Libra needs. They need it step by step, right? You're just looking for that person that will recommend you or that will take you on under their wing, but it may not necessarily be like you're seeing each other every day or you're doing it step by step. But the people that you know will help to put you in places. You might be in a bind and need a job or a gig, and a friend could help. So use the internet, use social media to look for somebody who might have something for you, and you naturally be the one that would attract them. Jamila says her Mars is in Capricorn. See, so Mars loves being in Capricorn, but the moon not so much. So last is moon in Pisces. And this one is also very hard for me to come up with. So moon in Capricorn, moon in Pisces, you guys were the hardest for me to really come up with my theories for you. Because I feel like the moon in Pisces energy wouldn't focus on money at first. So it's like I have to convince you first that focusing on money is the keys to actually getting what you want. Moon in Pisces, naturally, your emotional fulfillment is helping first and maybe pay later, or put out a collection plate at the end of it all. But if you're a moon in Pisces, I'm not really sure if you are here to learn how to make money or you're just here to learn another aspect of astrology. But moon in Pisces is about teaching as well. Pisces' natural classical ruler is Jupiter. Jamila says, if Jamila is a moon in Pisces, she says she's just now at 32 focusing on money. Yeah, and what is at stake for you focusing on money? That would be my question. Because maybe you can help me refine this even more. But moon Pisces is a sign that is naturally classically ruled by Jupiter and then Neptune. So if we look at Jupiter, Jupiter is a teaching planet. But Jupiter also is the lessons of the father. So I'm going to take it there. Because Pisces teaching is definitely something that you can do, but I don't know if it's something you want to do all the time, like maybe Sagittarius would. Um, and if you do, it might be actually both you and Sagittarius. Sometimes it can be so preachy, and like I don't know if people pay for preachy, but what people do pay for is wisdom, and that's something that I think that you and Sagittarius can bring to the table. The moon signs. Yes, Pisces classical ruler is Jupiter. hmm all of the zodiac signs that have a that have a outer planet as a ruler have a classical ruler. So Aquarius has a classical ruler too and a modern ruler. But Moon in Pisces is, if we think about Jupiter, like I said, I don't want to focus on the Jupiter teaching aspect. Hi Apollonia. It's nice to see you. Bless. Bianca. Welcome. Look, everybody's coming in at the end. Look, guys, I'm on Moon and Pisces. Like, I'm basically done. But if you hang on, I'm going to give you something else. Um, yes, I'm working. Yes, Apollonia says she's working on some money workshops too. Look, if you have the tools of astrology, why not, right? One of the people's main pain point is finding money, finding more money. And your astrology is right there, like giving you the answers or helping you to find the answers. Okay, so for anybody who's joining, let me just reiterate that my theory is focusing on the moon as a form of currency and how things flow to you. You know what I'm saying? So Moon in Pisces. Jupiter is your classical ruler, and Jupiter is the teachings of the father, right? What is it that you learn from the father? And this could help tap you into what it is that you want to focus on in your method of making money. So again, what I'm helping you here is maybe you work for somebody, maybe you're starting a business. So you already have a method of how you're making money, but what do you want to focus on? What is that extra icing on the cake that's going to help bring you that flow and put you in your currency? So that teaching of the father for your moon in Pisces, what did you learn? What did you learn? Some of the things you may not necessarily like think is worth telling somebody, but your story, Moon in Pisces, is going to be something that truly captivates people in whatever it is that you are doing. Because Pisces represents the stories. Also, Pisces is about the preservation of, what was, and so when you're able to tell your story, right? Whatever it is your relationship to your father was too. Like, was that a good story? Was it not a story? What are the things that he taught you? What are things that he didn't tell you? A Moon in Pisces book that I feel is, and I don't know if he has a Moon in Pisces, but this would be a good example. There's a financial book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he tells you about the differences, different things that he learned from his rich dad and a poor dad. So he obviously had, stepdad or whatever. And he tells you what his poor dad taught him and what his rich dad taught him. That to me is like Pisces and Sagittarius energy. But it's through the story that really, so I say for Moon and Pisces, on top of the relationship to dad and what you've learned from dad, what is your story? If you tell your story, right, and people are captivated by stories because it's such an information age that we're in, but story brings people back to that humanistic side, and you are one of the best storytellers for Moon and Pisces. Yes, Isaiah, I went in on Moon and Scorpio. I did not give Moon and Libra enough justice. Speaking of Moon and Libra, I did not give Moon and Libra enough of my time. And Libra's all about being fair, and I was like the most unfair to Moon and Libra. Apollonia says I'm Moon conjunct North Node in Pisces, and yes, my stories captivate people. Yeah, yeah, cool. And with it conjunct the North Node, that's saying to continue in that direction, no matter how, revealing it might be, because, Pisces doesn't necessarily always want to be out in the open. Bianca says Moon in Libra. Oh, okay, look. Now I have to go more into the Moon in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus, aesthetics, arts, design, acting. Okay, yes. All right. So well, yes, I would definitely say design. Venus is definitely about design, and beauty, Moon and Taurus and Moon in Libra, they're both going to be in the needs of having beauty. For Taurus, I talk about quality. Because you can put on makeup and you can look like a hot mess, and then you can put on makeup and look like you're royalty. So Taurus, I would say to focus on quality. Moon in Libra, I would first say partnerships is the keys to your flow, because you are in constant need of companionship. But I already said that. So let me bounce off of Bianca and talk about design. Design design is definitely something that Moon in Libra is, if you are compelled to make money through design, I would recommend that you do it in a way in which it is communicative. You do it through a method that is communicative, or through something like a software, or do it through something that is like technologically based, because Libra is an air sign. So the design element for Libra is different than Taurus, which might be like, putting it like molding it with clay and building it from the ground up. I think that with Moon and Libra, like design is coming from this space where you are still futuristic, you're still air, you're still in communication. So like maybe you're like working with software, like maybe you want to build a house, you'll build it in the Sims game or something like that. Or like allow yourself to design in a way that thinks about how you are communicating or how people can get a message from you. So air signs are all about communication. And that's the key with Libra, is that they do have, they're living themselves, they're looking for their identity through whatever it is that they are putting their time in. Usually that's a partnership, but if it's in a project, then they too are expressing, they're making a statement with their design. That's what I was looking for. Making a statement with your design and using communications to do that. So, Saradin, what's up? I still owe you that list. Um, Thank you. Look, all of you guys are coming in and it's at the end, but I do have to let you know that there is more coming to this, because there's my theory and then there's astrology. Okay, so what I gave you was my theory that the moon is your currency. Okay, now I'm going to tell you guys a few things. My theory that moon is currency is also connected to your relationship to your mother, because the moon is also your mother. So how you relate to your mother, and your moon sign is all about how you relate to your mother. So what you learn and how you relate to your mother is also tapping into currency. And what I also want you guys to understand, look, I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to be a little Piscean. It will be so quick, I promise. I've been doing astrology for 5 years, but it took me just before I became a mother to really understand how important it is for me to focus on the money aspect of the business. So I was out here reading hundreds of charts, for free and for donation. Look, if you would see my second house, you would understand why. But it took me a moment, and the moment was motherhood, in which Jamila says, "Oh Lord." um, it took me becoming a mother and then actually having more fulfilling conversations with my mother that I really started to understand what it is that I am stepping into. I'm not a kid anymore, I am now the mother, and that's really when I started to focus on how can I build something for the future? Like how can I use money to support my purpose and my cause in life, because what I'm doing in life is important. And that's what I want you guys to understand. Like, what you're doing in life is important. And that's why you need to make money. Like, that's what this entire world is based off of, that exchange of money. And there's nothing wrong with it. So, your relationship with your mother is key. And I'm actually creating two courses, but the first one is being launched this week, and it is focused on family relationships. And I don't even know, like, if you would have asked me this 2 years ago, I would have been like, snore, that is so boring. But having a relationship with your mother is also keys to unlocking your currency. Because if you're blocked in whatever that relationship is, you're blocking a sense of your flow in life. And in life, there is this law of being with the current rather than against it. So it's metaphorical and it's literal in life. So my course is about mending your relationships. And that is really what it's focused on. And it leads into the money section, right? But it's mainly about how you communicate with your family using your natal chart. And then the last section is about making money and all the way into producing inheritance. If you guys are interested in the course, I will make sure to put the link, sign up link in the bottom, so that as soon as I do launch it, you can learn about it. And I will eventually be making just a course on making money, because there's more to it. I just gave you my theory, but we still got to look at the second house, the sixth house, the 10th house. Those are the other houses of money, Then there's the house of your children's money, right? There's so many things that you can look at in tapping into astrology. So the biggest thing that I ask for you guys to do after knowing your moon sign, this is my assignment to you. Go out and try something. Try one of these things. Like, figure out what you're going to do tomorrow. And no matter how ridiculous it may seem or whatever you're going to do, don't expect anything to change around tomorrow, but shoot, maybe it does. But just go out and attempt to see if something happens and observe what happens when you apply your moon energy. Because astrology is truly a science, and the science doesn't happen until you make these experiments and you observe and you say, okay, this worked and this didn't. So that would be my assignment for you, is to go out tomorrow, and if you've got a moon in Cancer, bring donuts to the job. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much. I hope that this was valuable to you. I will link it after I get off the Fit Live. I'll click it, and if you give me 5 minutes, I'll put the link in the post. If you want to sign up to hear about the family course, I'll be launching it by the end of this week, and I'm really excited about it, because your family truly is the webbing of who you're going to be, and the family that you're creating too. So, and it's been so important to me, because I am now a mother, and that is all that I think about. Thank you so much. Guys, I will be doing late night posts once a week, because this is the time that I have to do them. And if you can't stay up late, I totally get it. It's a weeknight, but it will be available, forever. So you can listen to it in the day. Thank you again. I know I've said thank you a million times. I appreciate you. Thank you for having a conversation with me. Thank you for tuning in, giving me your feedback, giving me your knowledge. And let's get this going, and let's make this money. Let me know, how it works for you. Have a good night.